This is game number 12.
It's the final countdown, and the clock has officially been set. There is no more time to waste because it is so limited.
This is it. This is game 12. We've already seen the standings all of a sudden take a wild turn in a way that we never thought it was going to happen before, as Bucky Okis have jumped up to that top 10 conversation. I heard the battle bus. I know you did as well. Let's go and do this one more time, Fortnite fam. Game 12 of the FNCS Grand Finals starts right now.
For some, they're going to get a break before that global championship because they earned their spot there. For others, they have to go again next week in that last chance major. And the biggest difference between qualifying here and fighting through that last chance major is the teams that qualify through that last chance major will start on the lower side of that bracket, making it that much more challenging to try to survive and make it to that grand finals at the end of the day.
Yeah, you really want to do it here and now. Otherwise, you're going to be having a long, several-day competition to go ahead and fight your way back into a final setting and then, of course, secure a spot. So it's going to be very, very difficult in the week to come. Stay tuned for that. But first, we have a tournament to get through here. Game 12, this is it. We've seen it all go down here.
A lot of early game fights, even Day Nawson taking on G-Money and Bully, and double knock between both of those teams. Sniper and Snacky trying to have a much better performance, push those players off, but Snacky's under siege. Quick box up, quick build to gain elevation. Letting Knifer know there's an additional angle there, and the Snacky with the drop down, they quickly finish them off.
When Knifer and Snacky have actually survived the drop, they've done more with their games. One of those things where sometimes you get beat on the drop and the team that's beating you doesn't quite convert that into anything else. But for Knifer and Snacky, at least what we can say is that Knifer and Snacky, after surviving the drop, have really gone on to make a nice little decent run out of it. So tough job here at the Citadel. Meanwhile, Aegis and Kanata, overall performance today has not been nearly as good as their day one, but they are still somehow 24 points ahead of Bugha and Threats, which, as we know already, is not a lot.
It's only 6 eliminations, and we've seen players pick up 6 eliminations to the early and to the mid game. So anything is definitely possible. Yamzo and Rise, a little bit harder of a journey, but if the trend continues with some of those competitors going down early, it's definitely going to be theirs for the taking. A lot of these players have so much control over their destiny here.
Imagine a Rift Island just spawns south. Bugha and Threats just like, oh,
that's ours. Would they go for it, would you think?
Yes. I think they will put 500 metal onto it. Just secure the win right there.
Okay, okay.
Just go all in.
I hope that happens as the roulette of drop spots continue for Teeks and Penta.
Got a self zone.
Yep.
Wait a second.
They already got one elimination as well. Teeks and Penta, I don't know if they were inspired by Misha and Teeny over on EU playing drop spot roulette for themselves. They're going ahead and take a page out of that playbook, and it just goes to show why it's important to do your research, even if it's on another region. Maybe picking up some early game eliminations. They're just trying to get that practice underneath their belt. They're trying to line their pockets with even more money with the increasing placings that go by.
A lot more players falling than any other game, as already 4 teams have been eliminated. Saw Larson up there in the feed. Now Penta and Tech end up finishing off Pals and Crew. That's another team completely crossed off the competition. This last game, players are getting pretty antsy. Aiden and Hal, look at them, inching their way in. Bugha and Threats get huge tags onto Bully right there. We're sitting inside the Simi Springs. This is about the 4th or 5th game now. Bugha has actually pulled an early game zone. At least 2 today, which I called out earlier.
The last 2 yesterday as well, to kind of start this run. I feel like Acorn and Cold adapting a new strategy on the fly, continuously trying to third-party that Frenzy field. So far, it has been working out for them in terms of picking up a few eliminations, even more so when it comes to that Storm Surge. And with Defiable down, it's going to be another elimination. And Siphon going on over as Loot gets dropped down towards the low ground. Acorn and Cold beginning to just hover over and surround PsyRazor. Little by little, more and more for each passing second, gets increasingly confident.
Another team is here, though. Another team is looking inward, so it's not looking too easy for Acorn and Code to finish this one off, especially since they don't have a shotgun. Also, Aiden and Hound are playing very far apart because Deja Vu is one of the players in there. We already saw Aiden down by Bully and crew. Looking at that team, now you see Hound up here like, okay, what's happening? These are playing very split right now, trying to figure out their surge strategies in the last game. I like that, though. I like that this last game is so different for everyone so far. No rounds ever to be the same, but this last one for sure has had its fair share of early game surprises already. Bucky and Okus looking to see if they can exchange some tags with the team across from them right now.
So Bob and Weed, Bob and Weed.
Looking for there, a little 31 tag.
I feel like Surge hasn't necessarily been the highest compared to like some other FNCSs of the past. So these little tags really mean so much for some of these players. From Bucky and Okus if they're looking to contest that Rift Island yet again. This is part of their game plan. Get some early game surge, then drop down, try to play for those rifts. I think they've shown that they can be flexible and still achieve a high placement on the day.
Oh, he has to be careful. So he gets big tagged right there. Goes all the way down. Did have some extra heals to work with here.
Wow, a lot of extra heals. It just keeps getting better each layer he drops. Couple big pods, splashes. You can see him, the idea is saving that last one just in case he gets tagged up again.
Why not do it again?
Yeah. I think the danger here is if somebody has a mammoth pistol. But just kind of trading shots from across the map thanks to those extra heals that you have. A lot of teams like to employ that as a strategy. So that way they don't have to worry about surge as much.
Take a look at the standings here. We get to jump down to that top 10. Bucky and Okus are right on the line right there, 371. Batman Booga Rapid, 379. Baka Pars, 380. And Cooper, Miro, 400. Bryson Chubbs, 420. So these teams are just holding on at the moment. And you can see the point difference is not that much. That's what we talk about. Those teams well inside the top 15 absolutely have a chance right now to do something big because there are teams that are already qualified inside our top 10. And because of that, the standings will go down, further and further down.
It's definitely gonna kind of cook up an interesting game towards the end. Bryson Chubbs, another team we saw kind of inside of that top 10 bubble. They're definitely looking to kind of hold on as long as possible, like a roller coaster ride, some would say. They want to strap themselves in because they know this one is not going to be easy.
What do you think about this? What's happening here?
They're just trying to cut off somebody's loot path, sneak up on a team, really catch somebody slipping, something that we've seen show some success here on today, but not as much as you would hope, especially considering the EU side of things. But Reet and Ritual, they already have 2 victory royales throughout the weekend. And they definitely have the potential to continue to pop off. They just need to remain consistent in this game. This is a lot of teams, including theirs, last chance.
You're watching a team move by and didn't even take a shot. They have a lot of options, so the patience really paying off. Baka's hurt, though. Baka's down. Pars and Baka broken apart now. Pars is out. He's like, hey, listen, man. If I do just enough, I'll be just fine. Don't need to stick around here. Ritual gets knocked by Muzz. Paper and Muzz.
That's a
Looking
big
to have
find.
a last-minute comeback here.
That is a big find, and if you kind of look at the leaderboard, Reet and Ritual, as it stands, if they can stay alive, they are in that bubble. Just going down here, just kind of leaves up destiny to somebody else. His Paper's now trying to come in, clean up that elimination. Muzz is there as well. You see Reet with the pre-edit, the splash to try to give himself more time to save Ritual, but the pieces are getting taken away one by one.
Ooh.
A great peek by Reet. Not going to hit the shot, though. Answered back by Paper. Neither player finding any success, but because of the number game from Paper and Muzz, that is going to be what they use and kind of lean into in terms of their strength. But Muzz needs to be careful. He is one-shottable if Reet finds that one.
So unfortunate. Ritual, the way the build was edited right there, just barely not enough for him to get out. There it is. Reet's going to grab his body and back him up. Reet put that metal down. Reet likes him more so on the side there. no, baits him back in. Might have been a little misplay there. I'm not sure what happened. Had to be a misplay. Unfortunately, there it is. Paper gets his secured elimination. I think that's all he wanted. Probably now just wants the material and to get out. Another team sees the fight going on. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
It was a bit extended there. That was Revise and Casker. Now think about it. Had Reed just held on to Ritual for a moment longer instead of tossing him in the box, he actually would have been able to save him because they disengaged right away.
Yeah, he has splashes there. He has med miss, definitely enough. But now, Reed's gonna have to figure out, am I gonna play it as a solo? Do I sacrifice a lot of the HP heals and my time to try to get him back? There is a strength in numbers. Bugha and Threats have already showed us that. And it started off good when it comes to the zone. It did kind of pull their way. Little by little, it is going towards the north. It is going to be centering up more so. So a lot of the teams this time around has this equal chance to try to get to the center, at least here in the early zones.
We're going back to those mountains. Right back into some rocky terrain here. It is very early, of course, to really determine where the zone's going to end, but anything can happen here at this point. Let's tune in with our best performing team, just overall on the day, Okus and Bucky. We've really managed to have just quite the exceptional run.
They could have just, I feel like, performed to half of this potential on the day yesterday. I feel like we would be talking about them as if they were in first place.
Yep.
Which is incredible for how they've been performing. And they're doing it without their main strategy of the Rift Island. Yeah, they've captured it a few times. That's definitely not the only reason for their success. They just have a sound game plan, and obviously Oak is clutching up big with that VR.
But that makes it all the more impressive.
Yeah.
All the more impressive that prior to this, the stats indicated that they just weren't a top 10 team without it. This weekend, they've proven that they can do top 10 performance-worthy accolades without it. And then, of course, sprinkling it in, and now they're potentially on their way to the Global Championship here. It'll be quite the spectacle if Bucky is there, that's for sure. We all know he's a character.
Me and Source taking a page out of a couple players' playbook, just kind of boxing up. Just get that early surge damage.
I don't know
that
about
way they
that.
don't have to worry about it.
I don't know about that, though. Standing on the ramp out in the open, not in this meta, son. Oh, no.
Not at all. Rift Island's already going to spawn up. Kanata Agers, not too far from their racetrack, especially with the zone that allows them the luxury to kind of hold their position. That way they can try to get as much surge as possible. Already finding some success there. Rise and Yamzo over on the other side. They're in a fight, though. That does look like Broken and Virgo, who's already actually done a good amount of damage to the lobby so far. As Rise gets back down just a little bit, feeling confident momentarily before he realizes the position that they're in. Is this fight worth it? That's the big question he's asking himself.
Barely missed the timing on that shotgun shot. That would have been a difference here. And also just didn't even grab the upgrade, so this team must have rolled up pretty quickly before they were able to make the counter fight there. But they fend them off well enough. They get the upgrades, of course, that they're battling for here. And Yamzo and Rise put themselves in a great position to fight for first. We really do have a first, second, and third race right now.
Yeah, anybody has a chance to take it, especially those top three teams you were talking about. But I'm going to throw it on over to SBG to give us more information on how this race is going.
Both teams, Agers, Kanata, Bugha, Threats, are set up to battle and duel it out here in this game. Both have been up to their normal stuff in early game. Looting, grabbing some surge tags, and getting some extra ammo if you're Agers, Kanata. Agers, Kanata looking to make their mark, put their staple on this FNCS, and become first-time FNCS champions. While at the same time, Bugha and Threats are trying to re-up, become another FNCS champion for these two. This battle is going to be epic, and I cannot wait to see which one comes out on top.
Epic is kind of the name of the game. And for a lot of these teams at the top side of the leaderboard, they have been here before. They have been in this position. Typically, Monster, you do see some rookies, some first-timers to the Grand Finals rise to the top of the leaderboards. Well, get this. 18 of our 20 players in that top 10 have played in every Grand Finals this season so far.
That's ridiculous. 18 of our top 20. Wow. All experienced players.
I'm just curious, who are those two players?
Who are those two players?
Congratulations to you guys. Because imagine kind of having very little experience, 1 finals, 2 finals, or maybe even 0 finals, and the next thing you know it, you're going to the Global Championship. I'm here for
work, preparation, playing in those weekly tournaments, of course, all worth it. This is what it's all about. And all the more cooler to watch your progression happen throughout the year. This is why we encourage all of you guys to get involved as well. Play in those tournaments, get out there. You too could be here on the big stage. You never really know.
Oh, Reed's still alive.
Well, Reed is up. He did lose Ritual. Looking to put on numbers by himself right now. Aegis and Kanata, of course, have all the pressure right now to perform after slipping so far down. They continue to have a much more difficult task, I would say, than everyone else in the lobby, because they have that looming pressure of being in first place, of having that big lead, and then watching it slowly slip away. If you watch Kanata's live stream, you see him revisiting the live VODs, trying to figure out, what are we doing wrong? What can we adjust? And they keep making those small tweaks, but Bugha and Threats on the other side are just going. End game, end game, end game. Pressure, pressure, pressure. It's a very intense mental battle between the two.
It's definitely one that's going to test a lot of our players here in the final moments, and has tested them throughout the weekend. Batman, Bugha, and Rapid, they're trying to hold on to their global championship spot. And because there's a couple of teams inside of that top 10 that have already qualified, it is trickling down. I believe before this game started, it was our top 13 teams that would qualify. Batman, Bugha, and Rapid are definitely one of those top 13 teams. They just have to be able to hold on to their position. And I feel like that is the name of the game. With a lot of our competitors, without too many eliminations, it's basically who is going to outlast who.
Yeah, Bylin and Pen here are going to be taking some punishment, taking some shots here from Rapid and Bugha. Batman, Bugha. They're right behind Clix and Epic Whale. Clix and Epic Whale actually need this. They're going to be to the front side of this zone first. Okus and Bucky fight for the Rift Island, and I'm not sure if it worked out in their favor. We'll have to find out later, because right now Bucky is out of the tournament, and this could be their last chance to secure more points. They're 66 below the surge here. Now he does have a lot of heals to work with, but look, he's trying to make his way towards potentially the reboot van, potentially the extra loot there. Here's a player nearby. He knows it's not completely safe. And I'm thinking now, he should have grabbed those extra minis. He should have totally gotten that loot.
I feel like in this situation, when it rains, it pours, and right now it's really pouring.
33 below, there's a single player behind him, one moving on up. Someone wants to come here and see what's all the fuss about. This is not good.
Oh, that med mist being expended. Luckily for Okus, it's not too much damage. It really isn't too much damage for him to overcome. Only 33, which is one well-placed shot. Chris on the other side is going ahead and trying to get that reboot back. That's an opportunity for Okus, especially now that he might not think anybody else is there. He has the flapjack. Once again, the zone just closing in.
Nice.
A nice shot onto G-Money. And he finally goes above. Okus now doesn't get the chance to disengage. And now for Bucky and Okus, they're just forced to watch to see if their points will hold.
I'm not even sure if I can do the numbers if they're close enough. That is a very, very tough pill to swallow right there. They were in 10th, like literally on the line of securing their spot. What matters now is what everyone else is able to accomplish.
They had about 371 points, just like you said, in 10th place going into this game. With the way the leaderboard looked last time, with 3 teams being inside of that bubble, that at least gives them a little bit of a cushion to go ahead and hope that their points threshold hold. But a team that doesn't just want to qualify for the Global Championship, they want to reclaim that crown, especially Bugha. And Threats just trying to put all that respect on his name. No eliminations for anybody in our top 3, which means the points from that leaderboard hasn't changed when it comes to them.
So as we start to follow the journey of other players, if you're Bucky, if you're Okus, you're hoping that any team, and I mean any team outside of the top 10 falls sooner rather than later, and your top 10 teams actually stay in for the war of attrition towards that end game and become one of the last 20 players or so in the race there. There's 50 players in the lobby. They need 30 players to go down to secure a spot, and all the bubble teams are going to be the ones that matter. Meanwhile, Kanata Agers, 14 damage below the surge, in a congested pocket with a bunch of other players, and they have to rotate right now, and they're on the move. We've already seen how hard these rotates can be. Shots are coming in. The lobby seems to have focused them right here. See the damage. Here comes the splashes.
Even though they found themselves a slow part of the zone, they still need 39 damage to go above the threshold. A lot of their heals have run out. Specifically Kanata, you can see no shields to his name. Somebody's flanking behind them. Somebody is literally right behind Kanata and Agers. Down goes Kanata. That was Caskers with the sneaky play. And this is Biko because now the fight's gonna be forced. This is a chance for Agers to try to pick up some surge. He desperately needs it along with Kanata. A trade and shots go through, but he continues to fall more and more below that threshold. This is his chance to really put some respect on his name and claim that Axe of Champions, but it starts with Caskers first, and it's through. A monster shot from Agers, doing a great job keeping himself in this game, but he's still below the threshold. And he knows his job is not done just yet, but somebody else might have gifted him that with the threshold being changed. 60 above the damage, but with Kanata still down, Agers has to make a miracle play.
And there's a tree there. It's literally in his way. It's a rock in his way between him saving Kanata. Casker misses the shotgun shot. His gun wasn't loaded, and that just gives him another moment to potentially save Kanata. Agers switched the ramp around. The heels come down. He's like, no, I want to save you. Kanata's making a call out. Don't do it.
Wow.
Just play it out. Do it by yourself. This is ridiculous right now because the zone's moving. And they make the call. They make the call. Agers goes solo.
This is a big opportunity. Agers at the edge of zone as well. A lot has been expended, and he's still 62 below that damage threshold. He's feeling it kind of slip through his fingers, but he's ready for this. He had the potential almost all weekend long to pop off. Zuki's right in front. He's struggling to find some footing, and Rise knows he needs this opportunity to get the damage. Another shot fired onto Zuki's, but Rise is still below that damage threshold. Luckily for him, it turns off for now.
But there's a fight happening right next door. He can actually take advantage of this. Excellent shot in there to squeeze one in. He doesn't get the elimination credit, but it is enough to at least put him on the damage board. And now he has to move here. The pressure is on. We already saw Agers clutch up a win yesterday. Can he do something big? But no! He falls outside the top 20. Placement points were rewarded. And Threats and Bugha have a chance now.
This
No
is literally
eliminations, though.
history. This is history, Grand Royale. Second place going into Game 10, 46 points down. With Kanata and Agers out, they probably already secured their global championship spot, but that's not what they came for. They claimed for Kanata's first FNCS championship. And it's now up to Iamzo and Rise, Bugha and Threats to see if he's gonna get it.
And anything can still happen right now. You can see this is not an easy rotate. There are so many players on top of one another. We're in the Mud Valley here. It's gonna be difficult. Bugha is down. Threats, all pressure is on you. How badly do you want your FNCS championship title? You're gonna have to work for it right now. A huge tag coming in from behind right now. Yes, he's earning placement points, but he needs elims. We're not sure.
Rise
It's
gets
gonna be
two.
enough.
Rise gets two. Rise and Iamzo, they have this in the game right now. They still have a mountain to climb, let me tell you. There's still points they need to pick up. I feel like it's almost needed to get a victory royale here if they're looking to take first.
Iamzo was willing to put it all on the line for the medkit play right there, so he's absolutely ready to put any tactic into place. He puts that defensive wall down there. He is out of material. They're going to have to find a refresh and work together right now. 2 builds left. Rise has nothing. They need a refresh here. He's looking for it. That's an opportunity. Baka slips away, and Bugha, Batman Bugha falls there. Another one's in front of him. Bila doesn't have much to work with.
These are big eliminations. They need these to continue to find out the leaderboard.
Cold right under them. They get inside the box. It's all or nothing. Rise is inside there. Cold hurt.
no.
Acorn's on the run here. This is it. Iamzo and Rise are absolutely mashing their way up the standings here. They're working their way through. Big tag here, and he's still going.
That's another elimination, but he doesn't get the siphon. Iamzo goes down. Rise, 20 HP and a dream.
Oh my
he needs
God.
the siphon. He gets flanked. He goes down as well. What are we witnessing here at the end game?
Absolutely incredible game right there for all of our top 3 competitors. And now we're going to have to leave it to the standings, leave it to the math here, because everyone fell so close to one another. 20, 30-point differences. This is gonna be a ridiculous run for the crown at the end of the day. Muzz and Paper go down outside the top 10, or inside the top 5 here.
I prayed for a game to end just like this. I didn't know it was going to be this good. As Bert, he still has a little bit left into the tank. Bryce and Chubbs, they're one of the only teams at the top of the leaderboard left in this game. Even they have a chance to try to take home that first place, and another elimination is going to be cleaned up. They get themselves into the top 3. This is history in the making.
This is their run right now for the FNCS Global Championship position here. They're fighting their way through. There's just 2 players down low. It's Chris and Mud here. It's a 2-on-2. It's a head-to-head, but they have all the advantage here. There it is. It's going to come down to the zip line. Shotguns have to come out. They can't farm that. Chubbs can't break that. He's just thinking to himself, what can we do here? Gets up on the builds. There's a great tag. And already Bryce is in the mix here, looking to hunt him down. They want to play nice and safe, though. They go on up, and they're working with one another, keeping it nice and textbook here. No need to do anything extra. Bryce and Chubbs take home the last game.
That is just huge because even they have a chance, a small chance at that, but a chance to take that first place finish at the end of the day. But we saw Kanata and Agers go down early. Bugha and Threats, they got tossed out of the lobby, and with their backs against the wall, Rise and Iamzo also fell before any major points were granted, so it's anybody's game.
But did they do enough? We'll have to find out. These last engagements here from Bryce and Chubbs were still very celebration worthy. We're talking tens and tens of thousands of dollars on the line here, of course, for the plays that were made right now. And of course, taking home the big win and adding it to the reel. There you have it. Bryce and Chubbs take game 12 here of the FNCS Grand Finals.
Yeah, I've been casting 12 games so far throughout 2 days. I'm not going to take too long because just like you guys, I want to know who won Major 3. Zeke, let us know.
Okay. Hi. Whew. Whew. Okay. If you just tuned in and you, first off, I hope you have an amazing day. If you just tuned in, NA came down to the wire. This was a photo finish, okay? Kanata and Agers, they had this amazing lead coming into day 2, and then it was just back and forth. Big lead, small lead, big lead, small lead. Bugha, Threats right behind Iamzo, Rise clawing their way up. And it's the 3 duos alive in that game, bringing us down to these final few moments.
Listen, I know everyone wants to see the winner, so I'm going to keep it short. I feel privileged to watch this game. It was absolutely incredible. Thank you to the players for giving it to us.
I'll say it, FNCS might have a career in the postal business because it always delivers.
Thank you, Vivid. It is time. We know, without a shadow of a doubt, your winners for the FNCS Grand Finals in Major number 3 here in North America are Agers and Kanata. He's pulled it off. The duo come together and they make the impossible happen. This was their major, and for the first time, Kanata and Agers will hold that axe of champions high.